Hello and welcome to lesson 2J. I can write a two-column algebraic proof. All right, guys, get ready for your very first proof lesson. This is a very exciting moment in your lives. You just don't realize it yet. So for years and years and years, we've been begging you guys to please show your work. Show your work, show your work, show your work. Write out all of your steps. This is where you really want to do that, because when we're doing a formal two-column proof, we are going to list all of those algebraic steps in one column as our statements, and then we're going to justify what allows us to make that step under the reason column. So for example, if I'm going to algebraically prove that if I solve the equation 10 equals 2 times 3x minus 4, I always start off by rewriting my problem. That's number one. 10 equals 2 times 3x minus 4, and that is my given, because that's what they gave me to start with. Now, if I were solving this, the next thing I do would be to distribute, and that's what I do. I distributed the 2 in, and if you notice, when I distribute it, I leave it as 2 times, right? That's my distributive property of multiplication over subtraction. That's what I did. Now, in the next step, I just simplify that. I say 2 times 3 is 6, and the 2 times 4 became an 8. That's just a simple simplification step. We didn't actually use any properties of equality because we didn't do anything over an equal sign. Then what I did was I added the 8 to the other side, right? And when I add the 8 to get this step, that's my addition property of equality. And after that, we divided the 6 off both sides, so I get that 3 equals x using my division property of equality. But we don't want to end with 3 equals x, we want to end with x equals 3. So I'm going to flip that equation around using my symmetric property. And at the end of each proof, guys, you can either write QED, which is Latin for something I don't recall, but I'm sure somebody will later. Or you can do a little box and fill it in to show that you are done with your proof. I call that the mic drop. You're saying, hey, look at this. I finished. I rock. Good job. So let's look at another example. Here we are going to solve the equation 3 over 2x minus 5 equals 9. And the first thing we always do is we rewrite our equation because that's what was given to us. That's my reason is given. Then looking from this step to the next step, it looks like we got rid of the over 2 by multiplying everything in the equation by 2. So my second step is the multiplication property of equality. And if you want to call it POE, I'm okay with that, but don't leave it off. So then from one step to the next, it looks like we added the 10 over. So that would be my addition property of equality, POE. And so now I'm left with 3x equals 28. Well, I have to divide the 3 off, and that's my division property of equality. Now let's do one absolutely from scratch, however we want to do it. So we're given 5x plus 1 times 3 equals 18. So I'm going to write that out, of course, as our first statement. 5x plus 1 times 3 equals 18, and that is step 1. And my reason I can write that is that it was given to me. Now my next statement, there's 2 things I could do. I could either divide by 3 or I could distribute the 3. I think I'm going to distribute it. So I'm going to distribute my 3 in my next step. So I end up with 15x plus 3 is equal to 18. And the reason I can say that is the distributive property of multiplication over subtraction. Now, I don't mind you guys shortening words, but there are 2 words you never, ever, ever, ever can shorten, and that is subtraction and substitution, because they both start off the same way. So never shorten subtraction or substitution. I'm fine with multiplication or maybe division, but never subtraction or substitution. So my next step in solving this equation, I'm going to subtract the 3 over, so I'm left with 15x is equal to 15. And I did that using my subtraction property of equality. And last but not least, we divided both sides to get the 15 off, so I'm left with x equals 1. And that's my division property of equality. We have gotten x equals an answer. It's in the right format, so we are done with our proof. Oh, I forgot to put a box up here. Let's put a box up here. Boom, done. All right, guys. That's the end of this lesson. I'd like you all now to try the practice. And once you're done with the practice, have a go at the knowledge check. Thank you very much.